itong lecture ko. So, this is last meeting. We'll just go to the part where I stopped last time. Yan. Okay, anyone can unmute their cameras if they have questions or raise their hands kapag may questions po. So last meeting, we had the analytic part, itong part na to, discussed by Ma'am Jen. So this is, under the analytic part, we are testing the hypothesis which we generated from the descriptive study. So sa descriptive, we are just hypothesizing pa lang yung ating X and Y. Yung ating exposure and ating outcome, kung may relasyon ba silang dalawa. So dito sa analytic, we are to test that, and there are two types, observational and experimental. Very clear naman ang distinction na ginawa ni Ma'am Jen dito, wherein sa observational, we just observe. Tinitingnan lang natin. And experimental, may intervention tayo and may factor tayong ina-assign. Under observational, we have three types. Your cross-sectional, your cohort, and your case control. And for your experimental, you have your RCT and community trial. So here, we are trying to establish causality of the exposure and the outcome. So under the analytic study, ang objective natin, again, is to test the hypothesis to make this not a broken line anymore. And key strategy natin dito, sa lahat ng analytic studies, we have a comparison or control group. So, experimental man yan, cross-sectional man yan, case control or our cohort, mapapansin nyo, sa diniscuss ni Ma'am Jen last meeting, lahat sila may comparison or control group. So, today, meron akong 4 parts of classification na ipapakita. This is nasa module nyo din. So, hindi kayo mawawala. The objective of the study, kung may presence or absence of intervention or manipulation of exposure, ano ang direction of inquiry niya, and may presence or absence ba ng assessment of your exposure X and outcome Y at 2 points in time. So, itong objective of the study, this is quite obvious kung ano yung objective of the study pagdating sa mga cohort. Later, we will check that. We'll try to define ano tong intervention, presence or absence of intervention, ano yung other terms na ginagamit dito sa direction of inquiry, and yung presence or absence of assessment at 2 points in time. So, sa presence or absence of intervention, kapag walang intervention or walang manipulation, this is observational. Nakita nyo naman dun sa ating diagram ito. Kapag may manipulation, ano yon? Experimental. So if I ask presence or absence of intervention, you can answer observational or experimental. Then next natin is the direction of inquiry. For the direction of inquiry, yan, prospective or retrospective. Dalawa yan. Later on, I will clarify just one thing with regards to prospective or retrospective. Dito pa lang, when we define the term direction of inquiry, when we say prospective, from present, ngayon, ang prospective is we have the factor now, and then we are trying to, we will follow up kung magkakaroon ba sila no disease or outcome. Pag retrospective naman, at present, meron na yung disease and yung factor, titingnan natin kung ano yung factors in the past. So, kindly check the arrows. Si prospective, going to the right. Si retrospective, papunta siya sa left. Binabalikan niya yung past. So, we're done with the intervention, direction of inquiry. Last is assessment of X and Y at 2 points in time. So, meron tayong dalawang sagot dyan, cross-sectional or longitudinal. So, yung pinakita natin kanina, kapag may direction siya of inquiry, either prospective or retrospective, that is, may 2 points in time siya. From the past to present, or present to future. So, that is longitudinal. So, itong prospective and retrospective, longitudinal yung tawag doon. And kapag at the same time, mineasure si exposure or si outcome, that is your cross-sectional. Yun din yung study actually na tawag doon. Okay, I hope those definition of terms are clear. We now start with the first one. So magtatawag tayo dahil klaro naman to sa report ni Ma'am Jen. Ma'am Kaleda. Ma'am Kaleda, sige, wag mo na yung objective of the study. Sa intervention po, sa direction, and sa assessment. Ano pong meron tayo sa cohort?
Ma'am, wait lang po. Pabalikan ko po kasi yung sa may algorithm. Ano po, ma'am? For the cohort po, um, walang
Intervention
presence po
natin.
wala po, ma'am. Negative po.
Okay,
Negative
so negative,
intervention,
wala tayong intervention,
negative
meaning this
manipulation.
is observational.
Observational. Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, direction of inquiry.
Direction
Direction
of
of
inquiry po, ma'am. Ang alam ko po, ma'am, dalawa po ang cohort po natin, ma'am. So, pwede po siyang prospective and retrospective.
Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Karima, dalawa ang pwede for cohort. Kasi meron tayong prospective cohort at meron tayong retrospective cohort. So sabi niya, this is dalawa, prospective and retrospective. Later, I will clarify itong part na to. Then, Ma'am Karima, for assessment of time of X and Y.
X and Y, positive po, ma'am.
Ano to, longitudinal or cross-sectional?
Longitudinal po.
May 2 points ba tayo?
Bakit po yung 2 points?
Choppy ata si Ma'am Kaleda. May 2 points tayo, ma'am?
Ma'am, ano po yung ibig sabihin ninyo sa 2 points?
Sige, balikan natin yung ano natin dun. Anong ibig sabihin ng 2 points? Ito, ma'am, meron kang si X and Y mo, minimeasure mo siya at 2 points in time. So, meaning, si exposure, mineasure mo at one time. Si outcome, mineasure mo at another time. That would be longitudinal. Si cross-sectional, mineasure mo yung outcome and yung exposure mo at one time. So, balikan natin si cohort mo. Sige, Ma'am Karima. Sige, we help Ma'am Karima. Ma'am Karima, Kerry, ano to? Longitudinal, cross-sectional? Sige. So, padaliin natin kay Ma'am Karima. Pag merong direction of inquiry, if meron nitong retrospective siya or prospective, it's always longitudinal. So, naririnig ko si yes, Ma'am Karima. Longitudinal tayo. So, meron akong gustong idagdag na classification dito sa baba. Study population. Anong study population natin sa cohort? Tanong natin si Ma'am Jen. Well, perfect na niya ito. Anong study population natin sa cohort?
Individual, ma'am?
Ang study population natin, meron tayong 2 groups, di ba? Si exposed at si unexposed. Negative ang exposure niya. So, hinanap ko yun muna so that we can give our objective of the study for cohort. So, ang objective of the study natin to show that the probability of having a disease is greater than sa may exposed compared sa ating ayaw mo bura. Compared sa ating not exposed. So, equals natin yun. So, again, ayaw mabura lahat. Sana nabura sa inyo. Or naglalag lang siya. Wait lang po. Sige. Again, for the objective of the study ng cohort natin is to show that the probability of may sakit is greater doon sa mga exposed rather than the unexposed. And this one, ang kanyang intervention, observational to, direction of inquiry, prospective. Later, i-clarify ko, Ma'am Karima. And for the rest, yes, meron tayong retrospective, but when we ask kung ano ang direction of inquiry ng cohort, it's always prospective. And then, assessment of X and Y, that is longitudinal kasi meron tayong, hindi natin chine-check at the same time yung exposure at yung outcome. Ayaw naman siyang mabura. Okay. So, this is the direction of inquiry from the present. Yan. From the present, for example, today, gusto nating malaman kung ang high sugar diet ba is related to obesity. So lahat ng may exposure ngayong 2024 sa high sugar diet, i-check natin kung magde-develop sila ng obesity sa 2030. So i-check natin kung at 2030, lahat sila ay obese. That is cohort. So meron kang two groups dyan. Those na exposed, kanina kaya tinanong ko yung study population, those that are exposed and those that are not exposed. This part here, 2024 to 2030, this is called your retrospective cohort. Prospective cohort, sorry. So, kanina, ang retrospective cohort, sabi ni Harima, meron tayong retrospective na direction of inquiry. So, if we go back to the slides kanina, pag retrospective, pa ganito siya. So, binabalikan natin yung past. For cohort, yes, meron tayong retrospective cohort, pero yung arrow natin is still pa ganito. From left to right pa rin yung arrow natin. So, for example, noong 2014, nagkaroon ng, sige, 2019, nagkaroon tayo ng COVID and na vaccine ang majority of us. And we will check now, 2024 or hanggang 2023, kung marami ba sa kanilang nagkaroon ng asthma afterwards. Or allergies, yung mga na-vaccine noong 2019. So this one, we still look at the exposure noong 2019 and then chinek natin kung magkakaroon sila ng disease noong 2023. This one is still a cohort. Prospective pa rin siya, but we call it retrospective cohort. Ang daming binasa ni Ma'am Jen on this. Naguluhan din kami lahat dito kasi retrospective cohort yung tawag sa kanya. Pero yung direction of inquiry niya, when you are asked with the direction of inquiry, it's still prospective. Malinaw po ba yon? Or meron po bang naguluhan? Ma'am Jen, nalinawan ka ba doon? Or naguluhan ka doon?
Nung una, ma'am, syempre.
Si Ma'am Karima nalinawan doon, pero ang tawag sa kanya pa rin kasi ay retrospective cohort. Pero ang direction of inquiry niya, prospective. Okay, I hope clear yon so that we can move on. So sa lahat, ganito yung direction of inquiry niya. Prospective man siya or retrospective cohort, pag ganito ang direction of inquiry niya. So tinitingnan nila lahat muna, exposure muna lahat or no exposure for the study groups. And then they will check after years kung magkakaroon ba from the exposed, kung nagkaroon ba siya ng disease or wala siyang disease, or dun sa mga hindi exposed, nagkaroon ba ng disease or walang disease. So that is our cohort. And advantages of cohort, this is the pinaka-advantage na it can establish the temporal relationship. So next to experimental, which is our gold standard for causality, ang sunod natin actually is si cohort. Kasi nauna muna si exposure and then si disease. So parang sure tayo dun na dahil nagkaroon siya ng exposure, nagkaroon ng disease na ganito. So it is suitable for studying multiple outcomes from a single exposure. For example, nabigyan ng COVID-19 vaccine. So nagkaroon sila ng allergies, nagkaroon sila ng asthma, nagkaroon sila ng any other outcome after nitong nabigyan sila ng vaccine. They compared it dun sa mga hindi nagkaroon ng exposure. Hindi sila nabigyan ng COVID-19 vaccine. Nagkaroon ba ng mga outcomes na ganon? And then, na-highlight to ni Ma'am Jen last meeting, si cohort ay advantages sa rare exposure. Mamaya makikita nyo, rare outcome naman yung sa case study. So ito, rare exposure. So alamin mo ngayon, exposed sila. Ito is observational. So hindi natin binibigyan deliberately yung mga tao kung, ay kayo nga mag-take kayo ng COVID-19 vaccine. Hindi natin sila pipilitin. Parang gano'n. I-observe lang natin na kapag COVID-19 vaccine ba, tapos, meron bang ganitong outcome after how many years? So, disadvantage nito, time-consuming, kasi lalo na kung nagmamadali ka, check mo yung effect agad. Ipa-follow up mo siya in years. And then, expensive due to long follow-up periods. It's also not efficient for studying rare diseases. What if, kunwari, titignan mo kung yung mga nagkaroon ng ganitong exposure, magkakaroon sila ng Tay-Sachs disease. So, sobrang rare naman ng disease na hindi pa nga natin alam kung ano yun. So, baka dun sa population niya na na-expose at hindi na-expose, lahat sila walang outcome after 10, 20, 30 years. So, it's not efficient for studying rare diseases. And then, malaki yung risk of loss to follow-up. So, paano kung ayaw mo magpa-check? So, paano kung may mga namatay na or paano kung ng ibang bansa na? So, lahat yon lost to follow up na siya. So, which may bias the results. So, later on, meron tayong module on bias and confounding before your exam. So, that is cohort. So, sa case control naman natin, Sir Mario, John Mario. Ano pong naintindihan natin kay Ma'am Jen? Meron bang presence or absence of intervention? Sir Mario, are you still here?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Nasa labas sila, Sir John Mario eh. Nasa school ata.
Yes po, ma'am. Ma'am, for the ano po, no manipulation po for the case control study, ma'am. No,
Okay, no,
yes, ma'am. No intervention po.
no intervention or observational. Direction of inquiry, sir.
Res, retrospective po. So,
Yes, this is
yes,
retrospective.
yes, ma'am. So, 2 points din po.
At 2 points or Longitudinal.
Longitudinal.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, tatanong ko, ano pong study population natin dito? Kung si cohort, ang study population natin are exposed and not exposed, dito po kay case control, anong study population natin?
Yung cases po with the disease, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir. Perfect yun. So, cases at saka control. Yan yung ating study population. So, gusto kong idagdag dito yung study pop natin. May disease or walang disease. Therefore, yung objective natin dito is to show that the probability of the exposure is greater doon sa may disease than yung walang disease. So if you go back later kanina, ang kino-compare natin yung exposure. Dito, ang kino-compare natin yung may disease. So, yan tayo. And ito yung case control natin. So, dito yung present natin, yung ating, if the direction of inquiry is retrospective, titingnan natin muna kung sino yung may disease at yung walang disease. And then, i-check natin kung yung may disease ba ay meron silang exposure or wala silang exposure. So, nakita niyo dito, ang tiningnan natin is the disease. Hindi natin tiningnan yung exposure. So, dito, walang disease and then i-check kung may exposure at kung walang exposure. So, example natin dito is case control investigating association between sedentary lifestyle and obesity. So, for example, ang case natin dito is obesity. So, lahat ng taong obese, sila yung cases natin. And then, yung hindi obese, sila yung controls natin, not obese, lagay natin. Paano ba tong case control na to? So, yung mga researchers natin dito, they will ask participants about their physical activity levels over the past 5 years to determine kung meron silang sedentary lifestyle at kung link ba sila sa obesity. For example, itong obese, talagang in a day, nasa harap lang siya ng computer. So, exposed siya, sedentary yung lifestyle niya. Ito naman, not exposed, nag-gym ito ng 3 times a week, pero obese pa rin siya. So, yun yung exposed to the factor, pero obese pa rin siya. Okay? So, case control, ang advantages niya, it's efficient for studying rare diseases. So, for example, yung sinabi ko kaninang may Tay-Sachs disease siya. Very rare. So, lahat ng may Tay-Sachs today, for example, check nyo backwards kung sila ay merong exposure to something. Compared to cohort na i-expose mo siya to gene, mga mutagens, for example, and then check mo after how many years kung magkakaroon ba siya ng Tay-Sachs disease. So this one is less costly and time-consuming kasi you can do it now. You can answer it now, especially dun sa mga nag-work sa inyo sa hospital. That's why gusto ko itong records review dito sa epidemiology. Kasi if you do have records already of, for example, ilan yung nagkaroon ng ganitong disease. And then you will check yung record nila. Kahit sa profile nila makikita mo. Kasi ito yung nanay is nagtitake siya ng mga ganitong vitamins nung buntis siya. Kaya maganda kung maganda ang pagkakaano ng records sa hospital. Kasi you can, kahit nakaupo ka lang, ang dami mo nang nagawang research. Nagdaming case control mong magagawa, di ba? So, you can assess multiple exposures din for a single outcome. So, for example, yun nga, may sakit yung bata. And then, check mo yung prenatal health ng nanay. Si nanay is, makikita yung multiple exposures niya. Hindi nag-take ng prenatal vitamins, siya ay nag-smoke, siya ay nag-alcohol, uminom ng alcohol nung siya ay buntis. For example lang, ganun. So you can check or assess multiple exposures dun sa nag-iisang outcome na may sakit yung anak niya nung lumabas. So disadvantage nito is you cannot directly estimate incidence or risk. Hindi ka sure kung sila ba yung rason. O, hindi mo sure kung saan dun sa mga multiple exposures, kung siya ba talaga yung reason kung bakit nagkasakit yung bata. Then, also, dahil retrospective to, mataas yung likelihood of recall and selection bias natin. Okay, so this is a difference of your case control and cohort. So, case control will look into the exposure and kung magkakaroon ba ng sakit in the future or kahit pa in past ito, exposure pa rin yung titingnan natin and then disease. For case control, may sakit ba? And then ano yung exposure niya? Saan siya exposed? Pag ganun. Okay? So third is we have cross-sectional. Tatawag tayo ulit. Ma'am Zenny, wala kang ano ngayon? Wala kang
Ma'am?
duty ngayon, Ma'am Zenny?
Yes po, ma'am. Off ko po.
Sige, Ma'am Zenny. May intervention, walang intervention.
Cross-sectional, ma'am?
Yes.
Wala po, ma'am.
Okay, walang
Walang
intervention.
intervention.
Tinitingnan lang natin to. Direction of inquiry. May direction of inquiry ba?
Direction of inquiry niya, ma'am, is single point lang kasi siya, ma'am. Kaya
Single point siya kaya.
cross-sectional lang siya.
Kaya negative. Wala siyang direction of
Yes,
inquiry. And this one is cross-sectional.
cross-sectional po, ma'am.
Sige, ma'am. So, anong groups natin dito, ma'am? Study population.
Um, Study population natin, ma'am, is exposed and non-exposed within the population,
Yes,
ma'am.
perfect. So, actually, lahat ng ating analytic, ang study population is exposed at saka not exposed, unexposed, except for the case control. Wherein the study population is yung disease at yung walang sakit. So, the same objective as yung cohort to show that the proportion of those with disease natin ay greater doon sa exposed rather than the unexposed. So, siya din si cross-sectional natin. And compared to your cohort, yan. At present, mame-measure mo na din si exposure at saka si disease. So, ito yung example natin, kung physical activity and obesity pa rin, so your researchers can survey, for example, 2,000 individuals. Tapos, ime-measure din yung kanilang BMI at saka ime-measure yung physical activity at the same time. So, dyan, mache-check mo kung yung current na physical activity nila and yung obesity status nila ay may relasyon. So, it will associate it like that. So, anong advantages ng ating case control? Sorry. This is cross-sectional. So, anong advantages nito? Quick and inexpensive to conduct. And then can assess the prevalence of exposures and outcomes simultaneously. Useful pa rin siya for generating hypothesis. This is if it is descriptive. This time kasi we have comparison group. So, hindi siya nag-generate ng hypothesis. But, ang pinaka-disadvantage nito is you cannot establish temporal relationships. Hindi mo sure kung yung exposure ang talagang nag-cause dun sa outcome since you measured it at the same time. So, this is also prone to survival bias. Okay, and then ang experiment natin. Sir Nixon.
Hello po,
Sir
ma'am.
Nixon?
Naririnig po ako, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes po, ma'am. Ma'am, for the intervention po is positive po
Yes, positive.
siya. Then, sa direction po of uh, inquiry, dalawa po yun, ma'am, no? Prospective and retro.
Yes, ang choices mo ay dalawa, retrospective, prospective, or wala. Tatlo pala.
Sorry, ma'am. For the direction, ma'am, is I think po ay prospective po siya since
Yes,
two
this is
points in time po.
prospective. See
Yes po.
experiment.
And for the assessment, longitudinal po, ma'am.
Yes, this is longitudinal. Basta may direction of inquiry that is longitudinal. So,
Yes.
sir, yung gusto kong i-add dito na study groups, anong study population natin?
Since yung this is experimental, ma'am, as meron po dito yung positive and negative control po natin.
Okay, so tulad ng sabi ko kanina, all our analytic studies, ang ating population ay exposed at
Exposed and
unexposed.
unexposed.
For experimental, ang exposed natin, those that receive the manipulation or the intervention. Siya yung intervention group natin. And then yung unexposed, siya yung control group. Thank you so much, Sir Nixon. And therefore, the objective of the experiment is to show that outcome, which is kung ang intervention natin ay, usually ang intervention natin is beneficial rather than harmful or risk siya, is less in intervention than control group. For example, yung study namin na gumawa kami ng soap out of kapama extracts. So, ginamit namin ito sa, for example, antibacterial activity. So, those na nalagyan ng intervention ng kapama soap is mas maliit yung kanyang zone of inhibition compared dun sa walang intervention. So, that is experiment. So, makikita nyo, kamukha niya si cohort, even dito nung sumagot tayo. Kamukha niya si cohort except for the intervention part. So, dito, randomized at may intervention ang experimental studies. So, may randomization. So, this, ang pinaka-advantage niya dito is, it is the gold standard for establishing causality. Kasi controlled yung environment pag experimental. So, also, yung ano natin dito na term for experiment is randomization, reduces confounding and bias. Make sure na ni-randomize mo yung pagbibigay mo ng intervention. So, hindi pwedeng si Zenny at saka si John Mario at saka si Jenny Rose, si Dennis, sila ang bibigyan ko ng intervention. So, hindi ako nag-randomize sa lagay na yun. So, meron tayo dito na double-blind, mga ganun na studies to reduce confounding and bias. So, hindi natin alam kung sino mga bibigyan natin ng intervention. So, disadvantage nito, of course, expensive and time-intensive to conduct. And kaya nga meron tayong mga observational studies or your case control cross-sectional and cohort because of ethical consideration. So, hindi tayo basta-bastang magbibigay ng intervention sa mga tao. So, ethical considerations may limit the ability to randomly assign individuals to exposure or treatment. So, mas mahirap gumawa ng experiment na meron kayong mga intervention or ibibigay sa mga tao compared sa mga observational studies natin. So, yeah. So, therefore, comparing the four, hindi ko na sinama si community trial kasi in a community setting lang siya, pero intervention siya. Experimental siya. Ang may intervention lang dito is your experiment. So, negative lahat. Ang may direction of inquiry for cohort, prospective ito, case control, retrospective, ito walang direction of inquiry. Experiment is prospective. Assessment of X and Y, ito ay may X and Y siya. Ito ay may Y to X. Ito ay walang X and Y at single point in time. An experiment, meron siyang X and Y. You give the intervention and then anong nangyari. So, except for case control, ang ating mga study populations dito ay deceased at walang deceased. Lahat ay exposed, unexposed. So, i-relate natin lahat sila. Lahat ng exposed ay the estimation of the probability of disease or merong sakit is greater in exposed rather than unexposed. For case control naman, i-relate niya sa exposed to show that the probability of exposed is greater in the deceased than the walang sakit. So ito, same lang dito kay cross-sectional at saka si experiment. Negative. Lahat sila, they will assess here. Okay. This table was shown also by Ma'am Jen last time. So, naka-italize pa lang itong part na to kasi ito yung i-discuss today sa Module 4. The measures of association between disease and exposure. So, sa cohort, makikita nyo later, ito yung mga measures of association natin. Si case control ito at si cross-sectional ito. So pag hindi ginamitan ng ganito, ang mga studies natin, hindi siya epidemiological study. So we cannot say yung study mo nung undergrad, for example, is cohort siya and you didn't compute for RR or AR. Or case control siya pero hindi ka nag-compute ng odds ratio. Okay. Sige. We'll just test kung naintindihan ba before we move on to Module 4. Sige. Match the following characteristics to the appropriate analytical study design. Number 1, Ma'am Norvelin Puntapay. Ma'am Norvelin, nagkakaroon ka ba ng problem with Wi-Fi? Kasi when I check yung sa Zoom mo, sa attendance mo, meron kasi siyang in minutes. So, ma-identify niya kung like ilang minutes ka nag-a-attend. So, kanina nakita ko din parang repeated yung pag-join mo. Baka may problem tayo with Wi-Fi. Sige, Ma'am Romilet Del Rosario. Number 1 po. Anong analytical study po ito? Participants are followed over time to assess whether an exposure leads to a future outcome. Sige, yung gustong
Good afternoon, ma'am.
ayan, si Ma'am
I think
Romilet.
cohort po siya, ma'am.
Okay, so this is obviously your cohort study. Ang keyword dito ni Ma'am Romilet is followed over time. So number 2 natin, thank you Ma'am Romilet. Number 2, Ma'am Rebecca. Exposure and outcome are measured at the same point in time. Yung iba pwedeng sumagot pwedeng mag-raise ng hand na lang. Hanggat wala nagre-raise ng hand, magtatawag na lang ako. Sige. Sir Dennis says it's cross-sectional. Yes, correct, Sir Dennis. That is cross-sectional. Sabi niya, 1 point in time. That is cross-sectional. And number 3, participants are randomly assigned to an intervention group or a case or a control group. Yes, Ma'am Jamaica.
RCT, ma'am.
Okay, this is randomized controlled trial. So, ang keyword natin dito, randomly assigned. So, meron tayo nung intervention, yun wala yung keyword niya, intervention group, at saka meron tayong control group. Sige, next. We have this scenario. A researcher recruits a group of people who currently have hypertension and a group without hypertension. She then collects retrospective data on their dietary habits to determine whether high salt intake is associated with hypertension. What type of study design is this? Sige po. Anyone can answer. Case control, sabi B, sabi ni Ma'am, yan. Maraming sumagot sa ating chat box. Yes, so this is letter B, case control. So makikita nyo dito, meron tayong cases, may controls, retrospective data, then i-check niya kung associated yung high salt intake with hypertension. So thank you for those who answered. Then we still have this. Which of the following is a strength of cross-sectional analytic study? Anong strength ng cross-sectional analytic study? Okay, may mga sumagot na sa ating chat box. Ang sagot nila ay, teka lang. May sumagot na, most of them answered letter B. It's quick and inexpensive to conduct. So, ngayon, titingnan mo kung siya ay obese. Tatanungin mo din siya ngayon kung nagsasayaw ka ba ngayong, for example, nowadays, mga ganyan, or meron ka bang ginagawang physical activity? So, this is letter B kasi ito, wala siya nitong temporal relationship. Okay? So, ang meron nito yung the rest except siya. Then, sino tong they allow researchers to study multiple outcomes from a single exposure? Anong study to? Yes, that's cohort. So, single exposure ngayon, binigyan mo ng COVID-19 vaccine after how many years? Ano yung mga multiple outcomes? Anong mga nangyari na nakita? May allergies, may asthma, etc. How about itong letter D? Sino to? Ideal for studying rare diseases. Yes, that is case control. So, rare yung disease natin, i-check na lang natin backwards kung sila ba ay exposed. So, I'm supposed to discuss this last meeting kasi, but it's already included sa exercise 3 ninyo. I'll check na lang kung ano yung mga examples ng health issues nyo, but will not rationalize today to give time for the rest na makapag-submit. But again, health issue example, adopting one scenario lang for the analytic study design. So choose a health issue and then example for each analytic study design and the titles for each of the study. So ito yung example. Yan. So sa cohort study, for example, obesity pa rin natin gusto ko dito. So longitudinal study of physical activity and dietary habits in relation to risk of developing obesity. For case control study of lifestyle factors and obesity risk among adults. For cross-sectional association between physical activity, dietary habits, and obesity, cross-sectional study. And then if it's an RCT, effectiveness of physical activity and dietary counseling in preventing obesity, a randomized control trial. So, in-experiment nila ang gagawin nila is, meron silang 300 participants and in 12 months, bibigyan nila ng physical activity program with dietary counseling. And meron tayong control group na walang ganun. Or makaka-receive lang siya ng standard health advice. And then after 1 year, i-check yung BMI, yung weight, and body fat percentage. So, ayan. So, summary, we've learned about epidemiological approach, yung ating descriptive studies, and yung ating analytic studies. Questions po. Before we move away sa ating module number 3 on study designs ng epidemiology. Okay. Yes, Ma'am Jenny Rose.
Ironically, ma'am. Presentation namin pero may question. Okay. Ma'am, pwede ba yung mga descriptive natin maging analytical din, like ecologic? Pwede yung sa cross-sectional, pero yung sa ecological, pwede ba siya maging, ano po? Pwede ba siyang maging analytical?
Or usually kasi ma'am, yun yung sinasabi namin, when we do analytic, kailangan mo munang gumawa ng descriptive study design. So, kahit anong descriptive study design nito, if we already hypothesize, meron tayong hypothesis, pwede mo siyang ilagay sa analytic. Mapapansin nyo if, lalo na kung sa CSU kayo graduate, puro analytic yan. After number 5 and number 6 na objective nyo, you are already checking kung may significant difference ito. May association, may correlation, yung mga kinuha ninyo from numbers 1 to 4. So, pag kayo ay graduate na ng MPH, malamang at malamang analytic studies yung mga gagawin nyo, but in combination with the descriptive part. That's why meron tayong tinatawag na descriptive correlational study design, mga ganun. For epidemiology, we don't use that. Kasi when we say descriptive, meron tayong iba't ibang klase. And then when we have analytic or yung mga correlational or association studies, meron din tayong iba-iba doon. Pero tulad nung tanong ni Ma'am Jen dito, kung yung descriptive ba, kahit na ecological, pwede nating dalhin sa analytic. Yes, ma'am, pwede po.
So, we are not bounded dun sa 3 types lang, ma'am. Pwede ba natin sabihin analytical, ecological study? Or not?
Analytic kasi, ma'am, hindi na natin babanggitin yung descriptive part. So, regardless kung prevalence study ito, galing siya sa case report, galing siya sa ecological, hindi na natin siya binabanggit kapag nandun na tayo kay analytic part. Kapag yung dun sa research study design, ang binabanggit na lang natin is yung analytic part. Hindi na natin binabanggit yung descriptive part niya. Although, doon sa iyong results later on, or pwedeng doon sa methodology, babanggitin mo siya na galing itong hypothesis mo, for example, sa ecologic study. Sa mga natapos ng ecologic study or gagawin mo palang, ginawa mong ecologic study.
Okay, ma'am. Noted po. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions po? Kung wala nang question for this part, pahingi naman ng heart. Yung mga hindi mag-heart, tatanungin natin kung anong tanong nila. Okay. Meron pa tayong dalawang ano dito. Ayan. Sige, thank you. Um, sige, we'll